He's deep as the deep blue sea, so he is. He was looking ahead. He could see Green End's future. About 10:30, I was coming back from the bar with more drinks, and he was staring at the floor. I felt sorry for him. I put the drinks on the table and ruffled his hair. "You're as deep as the deep blue sea, John," I said. And that seemed to cheer him up a bit, because when I sat down, he put his arm round me and slapped my back. "You'll be all right," he said. "You'll be fine." But he said it like everybody else was damned, except for me and him. Then he leaned forward and kissed me on the forehead. Chapter 2. So the Klondike shut down. It's like it was yesterday, the last day. I remember walking out and leaving the echo of my boots inside, like I'd left my ghost behind. And at night, the big dark building looked haunted. It was the first time it had been quiet in 100 years. Me and John snuck in sometimes when the security guards were sleeping. We'd walk about, sharing a bottle of bucky. Every noise was dead loud, even our breathing. You had to put your feet down careful and speak only in whispers. This night a big seagull flew in. It sounded like a flock of angels trapped in hell as it flapped across the Klondike, terrified, looking for a way out. Me and John crouched in a corner and watched. It would fly round the edge of the giant building, screaming, then stop exhausted on a steel beam, opening and shutting its big yellow beak. Then it would take off again, looking. After an hour, John couldn't take any more and opened one of the big skylights. The seagull smelled the fresh air and whooshed out, soaring up into the sky. And there was silence. John started crying. "What's wrong, John?" I said. "It's hard to believe all the good times we had in here are gone forever." I was going to tell him they weren't gone. They were in here, in our heads. But the security guards must have heard the skylight opening. They were coming down the works swinging their torch beams about. Me and John snuck away. The Klondike shut in the November, and Green End partied right through Christmas, right into the new year. Everybody thought the redundancy money would last forever. But by March it was all gone. The party was over. It was only Bannon who had money, and now he was taking £3 and the tenner. The Klondike stood on the edge of the scheme like a huge black ship lost at sea, a giant black hulk in an ocean of white snow. Then, one day, somebody noticed the security guards were gone. The Klondike was there for the picking. That night, the whole scheme descended on it and stripped every bit of scrap metal, cast iron, lead, copper, aluminium and platinum. Bannon's gang got the silver from the electric switchgear. Green End had another party. Then, the money ran out again. Some of the corner boys had found a way to melt aluminium beer barrels. You get an oil drum, knock holes in the sides, and light a good fire in it. Once it's going like a wee furnace, you sit the beer barrel inside and it melts down into a big snottery ingot. Then you can sell them to scrap metal merchants. They don't take beer barrels. But that only lasted a few weeks. The wiring got wise and started keeping all the beer barrels inside. By the beginning of April, there was nothing. Again. The year was balanced between winter and spring. Everything was grey. The pavements, people's faces, the buildings, the sky, the future. Nobody in the scheme had a job. Not one solitary, single soul. Even John's maw had been paid off from the wire in. Not enough punters. Men whose money had ran out were gathering on the corner. They'd be passing bucket and dope, trying to numb themselves. Me and John never took the dope when they passed it to us. It was just the drink we liked. Before the Klondike shut down, drugs were only for hippies and weirdos. But now, unemployed moulders and turners and puddlers and labourers were tugging away at joints. You'd think it couldn't get any worse, but it did. Smack came onto the scene. Bannon took to drug dealing like a duck. It seemed like one week he was outside the post office collecting his money-lending payments from people cashing their Monday books. The next week, he had a big Japanese